Well, hello, everyone. This is Grandmaster Jessie Bowen, and I am with the Martial Arts Extraordinaire Podcast. Our focus is to interview martial artists that's made an impact in the world of martial arts. We have our magazine. You can get it on Amazon. You can order it from our website. Now, we've been doing a lot of things over the past 10 years to promote not just the martial artists, but the martial arts. And as in anything, we have our heroes, our mentors, and the people that really inspire the martial arts. And today we have one of those world champions, one of those people. Before I started the interview today, I was doing a track on time, and John and I, we've been knowing each other over 40 years now. And you go, okay, 40 years. Man, that's a long time. So everyone, I'd like to welcome Grandmaster John Chung. Hey, sir, how you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me, Mr. Bowen.
Well, you're welcome, sir. Thank you for all the support that you give us and all the things that you've helped us to be able to do. In launching the Who's Who in the martial arts. I was looking at some pictures going back into 2016 and having you there, and being the speaker, being the announcer for a couple of our events, and so we've been having some fun. Now, but I just wanted to thank you. In the elite martial artists and in the martial arts extraordinaire, we're really talking about the everyday people that have done a lot of great things in the martial arts. And I know that, your study going back to Grandmaster John Rhee and all those things. So we want to know a little bit about you today. So let's start with, introducing yourself, and then we'll move forward.
Well, I am John Chung, and I've been doing martial arts, Taekwondo, since 1970. So you can do your calculation there. And I've been very blessed to be able to do stuff that I enjoy, I love, and be able to share that with not just my students who comes to my dojang every day, but also to the martial arts community in terms of doing seminars, as well as promoting tournament competition, as well as going to the tournaments and judging, coaching, and being part of the martial arts community. So thanks. I've been very blessed. And also, like yourself, who's promoting this martial arts with, elite publications and AMAA. So I'm very thankful for everything that you guys do and letting me be part of it. So thank you.
Well, you're sure welcome. I saw you at the U.S. Open. We didn't get a chance to speak. You're still judging and, really, influencing these young martial artists and everything that you do. So when we go back in time and we begin to go back to your early beginnings, you're at Wake Forest, you're competing, you're a champion. So we look at magazines and how they have helped to influence the martial arts. So we go back, we've got Black Belt Magazine, Karate Illustrated Magazine, and we have all the other magazines. So how much of an influence do you feel that being featured in the magazines added to your success of being, well known? How do you feel that magazines influenced your career?
I think it had a tremendous impact because, you're talking about martial arts booming here in United States in the 60s with Bruce Lee coming up and such names as Grandmaster John Rhee. You have Joe Louis, Bill Wallace, Jeff Smith. Before that, you have Chuck Norris. These are the guys who kind of paved the road for us so-called competitors in the 70s. And when we came up, you have to remember, basically we had 4 or 5 TV channels. Magazines were kind of, I guess, the elite stuff that you can actually touch and see. So I came up at the right time when there was a so-called martial arts boom. And with martial arts competition not just being so-called published in a publication magazines, but it was also televised on ESPN with the PKA karate, where Joe Corley was very, very much, impact and influence of that. And that was his kind of passion baby. And I was at the right time at the right place. When they were televising Battle of Atlanta, PKA, U.S. Open, PKA Karate, Diamond Nationals, those big national events, I was in the finals competing. So, I mean, in a way, you can say I was in the Black Belt magazine. I was in the Karate Illustrated magazine. I was inside Kung Fu magazine. There were many, many other magazines that are out there, and I was featured because I was competing all over the country. And you're talking about late 70s, early 80s. And then, of course, at that time, there was only ESPN1, one cable TV network. And this is before MTV. I mean, I don't know if people even still, if there's MTV. You're talking about closed circuit TV back then. So you're talking about not just martial arts boom, but the media boom. And you're talking about not digital magazines, actual paper copy of magazine, where you go to the bookstore and you see a boom, karate magazine or a black belt magazine and this and that. And there's John Chung. So I was very blessed, very fortunate to have gone through and be at the right time at the right place when the revolution of martial arts competition was booming. I was there at the right time. And I guess stars were aligned, and it impacted a great deal of still, even to this day, after what you say 40 years later, they still say, John Chung, I still have your magazine. John Chung, I still see your video that I did of all of the ITF forms. I'm talking about VHS videos. I still have that. That means they still have the player, right? So you're talking about the impact I made back in the 40 years ago. Still, when I go to these tournaments, people are still talking about it. So yes, it had a tremendous impact. And I thank God for that because, again, I was at the right place at the right time.
Well, we look back in time, and you're right. We have come so far, and our this generation here really doesn't understand or know about that generation when we didn't have all the bells and all the whistles to be able to do what we're doing now, to be able to do podcasts. We just launched our TV program, which is Elite Publications Worldwide TV Network. And, we can do those things now from the publishing end. But, magazines, if it hadn't been for magazines, we would have never, I don't believe the martial arts had been as large as it is today. We would have probably been still struggling, but having the ratings, the boom of sport karate, everyone knew the person's name because they picked up a magazine, who was in the top ratings. Everyone wanted to go to a tournament. Again, you spoke of Grandmaster Joe Corley, the Battle of Atlanta at that time was the tournament to actually win or to even place in. If you happen to be one of the, I still have my fifth place trophy from the Battle of Atlanta, and I still have that. So you can tell how you treasured that, being in fifth place. That was, if you made the top 8 and, you got a trophy, you're like, wow, man. And then the finals. And I know, when you went to Wake Forest and you were in school there and the Karate International organization, we had a chance to meet and interact. And you were such an inspiration through that relationship with Karate International. We had your videotapes, learning, destiny from the videotapes, and nobody could do it like you, And it was such a, because of those things, the magazine, the videotape, you were able to get your skill sets out there and you were able to inspire. And that's why we started the Elite Publications magazine, giving martial artists the time, an opportunity to expose themselves and their community to get to know who they are as martial artists by being featured on the cover, writing an article in the magazine, being able to share their story or the benefits of their program to be able to make a difference. So we're in this new marketing age of introducing the public to who we are as martial artists. And we can talk about it, but when we can put it in print and we can expose people through the paper magazine, the digital magazines, and all the things that we have the possibility to do now. So anyone, if you're interested in becoming featured in the elite magazines that we have, which is the Martial Arts Extraordinaire magazine, let us know, because we can show you through our marketing program how to grow your martial arts program, how to build your awareness in your community, that your message can be able to get out there and it's able to inspire. So, John, I know that you traveled the world. So what would you say your top memory in the martial arts of the event, or in the event? What is your top event that you put in the top of your memories?
Well, again, just like what I had said earlier, my first, I guess, in a way, a big year of traveling the national circuit was 1979, where I had a pleasure and honor to be able to compete in 3 of the national events during that time. The 1979 Battle of Atlanta, U.S. Open, Diamond Nationals, those 3 events. That was back in 1979. And then, of course, as I continued through the 80s, those were probably the most memorable events because those were my first big national event. And then winning the national title in 1980. And then 1981, I represented the United States and went to Milan, Italy for the WACO World Championship, where I won my WACO World title. And then 1982, I got inducted into Black Belt Hall of Fame. So you're talking about these events just happening, boom, 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 one after the other. And it was just those 3 years basically kind of set the path to say, okay, this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life, kind of a thing. So, when those things happen, you're traveling all over the country, you're traveling the world, you win the world title, you're awarded or covered to a Black Belt Hall of Fame award. It's kind of almost like I said, stars are lined up for you. So that was the path they went through. And of course, as we continue, more national titles, more world championships in England, Germany. So had a fortunate to be able to travel the world, went to Italy, also Slovakia. You're talking about, traveling the world, traveling all over the country from East Coast to West Coast. Of course, who can forget the big Skipper and Christina Ingham's, the Bermuda Invitational Grands. So that was just another super event. So there are many, many highlights when you're talking about competition. And nowadays, there are so many national and world events. I don't know which to name, but like I said, those 3 main ones. And of course, the classic Long Beach International that's been going on forever, okay, which I also attended back in the 80s. So, those are the classics. And but there are many others that's happening, the national tournaments, which are awesome. But for me, those top 3, U.S. Open, Battle of Atlanta, Diamond National, that's, in my heart, because those were the first 3 big national events that I attended. And so I would have to say those 3, top of the list.
Did you have a mentor or someone you really looked up to who inspired you as a martial artist and competitor?
Well, when I was coming up, I kind of happened to fall into I guess, some people called it, we are martial arts royalty. And you think about that and you're like, okay, what? Yeah, we are, because, I came up in a organization where my teacher, my uncle, Grandmaster John Chung, was the founding father of United States or American Taekwondo. So when I came to America, I got into that organization. And in the organization, we had world champions, national champions, such name, Jeff Smith. He was one of the instructors of the organization. You're talking about Larry Carnahan, Otis Hooper. Also, I don't know if you know of Gary Hestelow. He's one of the founders of Century Martial Arts with Mike Dillard. And, those people are all part of the Junri organization. The Worley brothers, John Worley, Pat Worley. You have Gordon Franks, who's also part of the original Diamond Nationals, National Karate organizations up there. And then, of course, all the Texas people, where Grandmaster Junri originated from. So when you're talking about mentors, Grandmaster Junri, right? Somebody we look forward to. Jeff Smith, who was my coach also when I was competing at the World Championship. But the one that, a lot of people know is the hidden guy, my older brother, Howard Chung. He was my coach, and he was the one who pushed me to be where I was when I was competing, because he was at Wake Forest with me when I was competing all over the country. And he was the one who made sure that I practiced, and he would always make sure that I got my workout. I was pretty disciplined, but, I would ask him for so-called constructive criticism, and and I always make fun of him, because he's like, okay, John, when you did a side kick, it was good, but your third toe was out of line. Or, when you did that, when you did a side kick, your head was a little bit crooked and your, 153rd hair was out of place. Kind of that type of comment over and over. And then to a point where I would get frustrated and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Why don't you do it? And, his answer would be, if I could, I would, but I can't. But I know you can. That was his comment, and that's how much he believed in me. Of course, at that time, I took it as a sarcasm more than anything else, but that kind of pushed me to the level of so-called perfection that I was striving for. And I guess at that time, I needed that, right? Because I was doing well. I was winning grand championships, and I was doing well, but I had to make sure I continue to improve. And my brother, Howard Chung, is the one who made sure I got to that level that had to be better than everybody else, including myself.
Right.
So people asking me, who was your most toughest competition? It was me, myself. And of course, my brother, Howard Chung, sitting in the corner, yelling at me or giving me advice.
Wow, that's great. Because, I know whenever you saw then we knew Howard was there also. This is really great.
Yes.
Everyone, we're doing a interview for our Martial Arts Extraordinaire Podcast with Grandmaster John Chung, one of the legendary and great martial artists of all times, a pioneer who really helped to change the martial arts. And we're so grateful for the opportunity to interview with him today. And again, a supporter of the American Martial Arts Alliance Foundation and our Who's Who in the Martial Arts. And now we have our magazine, the Martial Arts Extraordinaire magazine. If you're looking for a magazine that you want to be featured in, we are looking for martial artists to share their story, and not just to share their story, for us to be able to help them to be able to grow their martial arts reputations in their community. So, reach out, go to our website, which is elitepublications.org. If you're thinking about publishing a book, you have a book idea, or you want to do an audio book or website designs, whatever you're looking to accomplish in the publishing and printing, then Elite Publication is your one source. So, John, thank you today for taking the time to chat with us. And any last words from you?
Well, I mean, I'm still traveling. I just turned 66. I know some say that's a little old, but I still think it's still pretty young. I'm still doing seminars. In fact, this weekend, I'm going up to Donnie Ellison Jr.'s studio to do a seminar up in Pennsylvania. I just did a seminar in New York with my brother Howard Chung last weekend. And then, of course, my big World Cup Open Martial Arts Championship is coming up January 11th here at the Dulles Hilton, Washington National Airport. So that's 2025. That's a week before presidential inauguration. So it doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republican. If you are an American, you can even stay one extra week and stay for the presidential inauguration. But this is where everything happens here in Washington, D.C. area. And my tournament, again, is January 11th, 2025, Saturday at the World Cup Open Martial Arts Championship at the Dulles Hilton National Airport here in Washington, D.C. So everybody welcome. And hopefully, Master Jessie Bowen, you're able to make it to honor and also promote your books and your Elite publications.
Well, John, as always, thank you. We were there a few years back. Really enjoyed it. You had a great event.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to build my schedule up for 2024. So tell everyone, how do we get in contact with you? And, for your martial arts school, if someone wants to enroll, and what's the website and how do we register for the tournament?
Well, first of all, my website is just my name, johnchung.com, to keep it simple, johnchung.com. If you need to contact me, my phone number is 1-800-SIDEKICK. That happened to be what I was known for when I competed. As you can see, my trademark here, Sidekick. That's my phone number, 1-800-SIDEKICK. And I tell people, if you don't know how to spell, you can't call me. All right? And then my email also is 1-800-SIDEKICK@gmail.com. So it's 1-800-SIDEKICK is the phone number, 1-800-SIDEKICK@gmail.com. So you can contact me through any of those contact via email, phone call, and of course, I'm at Facebook, okay, johnchung.com or John Chung Taekwondo. So you can follow me anywhere.
All right, everyone, it's running across your screen right now. So again, discover the power of being featured in a magazine. Again, the new magazine, the Martial Arts Extraordinaire magazine, it's life-changing. One exposure could grow your school, not only your school, but the business opportunities in public speaking, self-defense seminars. So remember, learn to build a brand. So today, we want to say thank you again to Grandmaster John Chung, and everyone.
Thank you.
Go to our website, which is elitepublications.org, and find out about your publishing opportunities.